Hey everyone, this here is a fuel pump for the 0506 RSX Type S. Part number shown here, 17045S6M830. The reason why I got this, even though I have an 03 RSX Type S, which is for the 0204, is because they no longer sell OEM fuel pumps in stock. They discontinued it for whatever reason. They started discontinuing in February of 2023. I bought the car in January 2023. And so it's been harder and harder to find kind of OEM parts. But luckily, this is one of the very last kind of fuel pumps I found from a distributor online. And you can see it says Denso on it, so it's OEM. And it also gives you kind of the fuel locking cover as well. So that's really nice. Pretty much for the 0506 fuel pumps, everything is pretty much exactly the same. They have pretty much the same connections, and we'll see what that looks like when I install it. But the only difference for the 0506 RSX Type S pump is the fuel sending unit. From what I was told and from what I've seen in pictures, is the 02, 03, 04, this fuel sending unit is on this side, and then the way we put it in is the same direction too. So that's the only difference, and so that's what we'll see when we install this 0506 and take out the old 02, 03, 04. And so that's what I'm going to do with this install today. All right, so I'm going to disconnect the battery, because right now we're going to change out the fuel pump. And so you can see that I've been dismantling the interior because I'm installing the rear camera, and I figured while it's kind of disconnected, might as well just do the fuel pump, otherwise I have to kind of take it apart again. So the rear seat is out. This is kind of where the cushion would sit on it. You can see that, you know, I've lined it with Dynomat for helping with the heat and other reasons. But today I'm going to change out the fuel pump, and I want to show you guys what that looks like. So you can see this is the 05 version of it. On second thought, I'm actually going to take it out. Just got to do a side-by-side comparison when we take it out. But for now, I just wanted to show you guys what that looks like over there. So for starters, we're going to remove these 4 screws that attach the fuel pump. And just kind of put those on the side, because you're going to place it back later. We're going to take everything out with the wrench, or the electric screwdriver, sorry. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so this lid here is pretty much the fuel pump cover. And it's kind of connected to this kind of clip here. All right, so we pretty much just push this lever and pull the plug out, and that removes the wiring harness for the fuel pump connection. And the other thing we're going to do is just release the fuel line with this clip here. You kind of push it in and then push it out, and you can see some fuel just coming out there. So the good thing to do is get some towels just to absorb some of the fuel. I'm going to take off my gloves real quick, pick up some towels just so we can kind of do that right now. All right, so we disconnected the fuel line. Some fuel came out of the reservoir, so we're just kind of wipe it up, just let it soak in there, just because it's It's messy. And while that's happening, we're gonna get the wrench prepped. So this is a fuel pump wrench, and so what's it gonna do? It's gonna release the door, or loosen the door. As you can see here, you see this little black plastic piece up top, but we bought a specialized tool from OEM Tools, and so what it does is just kind of connects to those little edges there, if you can see. And so now that we have it just kind of positioned across both, what we're doing is we're just kind of tightening this wrench so it's in place. And what we're going to do is just connect it here and then loosen it. See, as you can see there, it's kind of spinning across. What we're doing is we're just kind of holding the fuel line so it just doesn't get in the way, and we're just slowly loosening that ring there. So now you can see it's loose, and there's the ring. First thing, I'm just gonna leave it in there real quick, and there's a lot of dirt around the sides, so I'm just gonna wipe that off. So I have these extra wipes here. I'm just gonna wipe around, make sure I get all the dirt that we wanna kind of take away. So now we're ready to pull out the fuel pump. And it should be as simple as just kind of lifting it out of the vehicle. Looks like these clips had fallen off the fuel sending unit. We're pulling it out right now. And we have it fully removed. And you can see that the fuel's still there. We're gonna cover this up real quick to prevent any like dust or anything else from coming inside. All right, so we're outside now, and I'm just kind of showing you guys the old fuel pump. It looks like the previous owner replaced it with an aftermarket one for various reasons that we will never know. But this is a new kind of OEM fuel pump. Like I mentioned, the fuel pump for the 02 to 04, so 2002, 2003, 2004, has the fuel sending unit on this side here, versus, if you guys can see, the fuel sending unit for the 0506, which is what this pump is, but OEM, is on that right side. That's the only difference. The connections are pretty much the same. So if you notice, there's the wiring harness connection here. I'll lift it up. Still has 5 prongs, just like that one there. And then this is the fuel line connection that we're gonna leverage. We're probably gonna keep this little plastic clip here, but we'll see. And then looking closer at the differences between this aftermarket one, is this aftermarket one, it looks like it was disconnected here, and so maybe that was the issue that I was having, but also like the fact that it was aftermarket, something I want to replace. It's unbranded, but it's also a different shape. So this one is a perfect like 90-degree angle. It goes down into to the right there, versus this one has an incline, kind of a slant to the fuel pump. And so I think that's a big difference there. And then the other thing I noticed about this fuel pump is it's a lot wider than this unit here. And so the fuel pump housing is wider, so it was a little bit more difficult to get in there, but I was able to remove it. Installing the 0506 might be easier just because it's more narrow in this place here, and so we'll see how that works out. But it's a few things I noticed about both fuel pumps. All right, so we're going to install the new fuel pump. I just took off one of the fittings for the fuel line, and we're just going to snap it back in place as you see here. The first thing we're going to do is, you see the ring, it came with a little gasket. Alright, so we have the rubber piece back on, and all we're going to do is reinsert the fuel pump. Starting with the sending unit first. And then we're going to submerge it. And the angle of this OEM one is a lot easier. It just kind of glides in smoothly, as you can see there.